Hey y'all, it's Jessica from Armywifeknittinglife. Before we get into day 2 vlogmas, I want to tell you where you can find me. You can find me on Instagram as Armywifeknittinglife and on Ravelry as Armywifeknitlife, where you can join me for my 12 days of Christmas cast-ons. I look forward to seeing what everyone's going to be making, and of course, the traditional Christmas Eve socks. What are you going to cast on? What yarn are you going to use? Do you have a pattern picked out yet? Let me know in the comments below. So, here we go. Vlogmas Day 2. I know I am not the best singer in the world. However, Christmas is my favorite time and I'm trying to get back into the Christmas spirit. So, we're going to have a little carol sing-along. And I'm going to sing it in German. Well, I'm going to fake it in German because I don't actually speak that much German, but I can get by. I'm learning it. So, if you see me looking off screen, it's because I'm looking at my computer, which is right behind it, that has the lyrics. You'll figure it out and you can sing along in English, okay? Stille Nacht, heilige Nacht, alle schlaft, einsam wacht, nur der traute heilige Paar. O der Knabe im Löckingen hat, schlaf in himmlischer Ruhe, schlaf in himmlischer Ruhe. Couldn't figure that out. It's Silent Night, which was a carol that was originally written in 1818 right here in Germany. So, fun fact, the song was of course translated into English later, but the German version has 6 verses, whereas in English there's only 3. And the 3 verses that we picked are verse 1, verse 6, and verse 2, sung in that order. So it's a little fun trivia for you there. And I wanted to show you yesterday in my little Christmas carol, I talked about Jack Frost nipping at your nose, and how I was going to start a sock for my December cast-on. Well, Day 1 is complete, and the sock one is complete. So I'm using Knit Picks Fingering Stroll in the electric blue colorway for the heels, toes, and cuffs. And I have already started sock 2 as of this afternoon. I had a great relaxing day at home for the most part. My husband was coming back from being in the field for a week. So I didn't really have much to worry about, or didn't have to clean or cook anything, so I just got to sit and knit all day, which is a really nice kind of treat for me. For traditions, today we're going to be talking about traditional Christmas food. Here in Germany, they have what's called Lebkuchen, which is a gingerbread kind of cookie, although it has a little more spice than you'll find in the States, so it tastes adjusting too, but it's delicious once you can get past that. It's normally got a chocolate coating on the top, and then on the bottom, I don't know how else to explain it other than it's like a wafer, sort of like if you're Catholic, you get the Eucharist during communion. And it's like they have one of those on the bottom to cover the cookie. So it gives it a little bit of texture. As I said, it took some getting used to and adjusting, but they are delicious. I get them all the time whenever I'm out and about because it's a treat, and you only find them at Christmas time. So, or they call it here Weihnachtsfest. Weihnacht is Christmas and Fest is festival time, party kind of thing. So that's something that they have in Germany as tradition. However, in my family, the traditional Christmas Eve dinner, at least, is we have Italian, normally some form of pasta, because growing up, my mother and I were very active in church. My dad was too, but not quite as much as we were, because my mother and I were part of choir and handbells and chimes for the adults, and we also helped out with the youth services that the church provided. So their choirs and handbell stuff, their preschool classes and Sunday school. So on Christmas Eve, we typically, our church where we spent the most time living and growing up, the earlier service was focused on all of the children choirs and activities, so it was a little more family friendly of a service, whereas the 8 o'clock service was more geared towards all of the adult choirs, and it was a little bit more, it wasn't solemn, but it was more reverent, I suppose. And so it never failed that from 3 o'clock on Christmas Eve, we were running like chickens with our heads cut off, pretty much, because we would have to be there for rehearsal for the children's choirs and for the adult choirs, and then we had to attend both services and make sure that everyone got in their robes okay and found their parents after they were done. So typically we had about an hour in between services where we could race home and eat something and go back. So typically my mom would prepare a lasagna and then write in an aluminum foil the directions for how my dad needed to cook it, because otherwise we would be having McDonald's for Christmas Eve dinner, because my dad is not a cook, and that's okay. But so we would race home, we'd have some lasagna, Mom could make garlic bread, and then we would race back. So pasta was always our traditional meal when we were at home in Kansas. However, we split our Christmases, so every other year we're at my grandparents' house, which is my babcia and tata, which we call ma and pa. Babcia and tata is Polish for grandma and grandpa. So every other year we would go to them. When we were at their house for Christmas Eve, they always threw a huge party. And I remember it so well. We'd get to go in our fancy dresses, and we'd have to wear tights and nice shoes. Or there was one year that I dared to wear dress slacks. Never again. I don't think I ever heard the end of it from my babcia. It's always a dress house occasion for her. And we would have ham and broccoli, cheese, and rice, rolls. There would be so much food in that house. It was ridiculous. We always had a Caesar salad with a mock Caesar dressing. And I remember my fondest memory growing up is getting ready for this party. You'd start at 8 a.m. in the morning to get all the food finished up. And we would put on some Andrea Botticelli, we'd put on the Mamas and Papas, or Michael Bublé as we got older. And we would sit there, and while things were in the oven, and we were just waiting, we would turn it up a little bit, and we would dance around in the kitchen. And that's actually how I learned to how to waltz, because my grandmother is very fond of it. So she taught me that year, which is interesting because she's 5 feet. And I'm not that much taller than her. I'm only 5'5". But she's this little woman trying to teach you how to hold your frame and where to step. So it was fun, and that's one of my favorite memories ever. And then we would go play piano and sing carols in English and in Polish. And someone would sing it in German or Chinese. We're a very international friendly family. And it was so much fun. So those are our traditional family Christmas Eve meals. What are some of yours? I want to hear in the comments. And then finally, I know what everyone has been waiting for is my advent calendar yarn. Day 2. Color is Thankful. And is this not absolutely gorgeous? Take a look, guys. Trying to make it not blow out. That's about as good as it's gonna get. Those greens, purples. There's some really dark green right there. And there's also a speck somewhere in here. I found it earlier. But, oh well. So, I can't wait to see y'all tomorrow. Do you have any thoughts? What are you doing for Christmas this year? Let me know. But until then, do what makes your heart sing for me. 2 sticks and string. See ya. Bye.